A very beautiful afternoon to all my viewers who are watching Getty Talks. My name is Shilpi. I'm the relationship manager with the Global Education and Training Institute. On the behalf of Getty team, I'm wishing all my beautiful and happy souls, especially the women, a very happy International Women's Day. I have Miss Aditi Jaggi Rastogi. And before I introduce her, this quote is from Kavita Ramdas for all the women out there. We need women who are so strong, they can be gentle, so educated, they can be humble, so fierce, they can be compassionate, so passionate, they can be rational, and so disciplined that they can be free. I hope you all can understand the meaning behind these lines, between the lines rather, I would say. So I welcome Ms. Rastogi here. She is actually, if you know the topic, what she's going to talk about, you have the clue. Yes, she is a fashion designer and she has designed uh, costumes for our very leading ladies in the movies, right from the sizzling and hot Malika Sharawat to many more. She's done her schooling from School of Fashion Tech in Pune. She has been the assistant designer with the very famous Reena Dhaka, and she has been national fashion consultant with the likes of Shoppers Stop and with many brands like Zara. And she's now married, living in our very own city of Lucknow with two adorable kids, both sons, 110 and one two and a half. So, Aditi, welcome to our show and thank you for joining in for the disruptive education movement. I know education and beauty can be, connected to each other. So, take up, you are going to talk about like beauty is your business. So, would you like to define it further? The platform is yours.
Thank you, Shilpi. Thank you, Getty, for giving me this platform of talking to you all and celebrating Women's Day with all the lovely viewers here. And I really thank everyone for making me sit wherever I am and giving me the confidence and the opportunity to talk and to put my opinion of beauty is my business in front of you all. So once again, a happy Women's Day, and I'll give you a little intro of my early life. I am a Raipur girl. I belong to Raipur. I've done my schooling there, and my hobbies were always into, I had interest in education and studies, and I was always around my teachers. I used to be a teacher's pet. I really enjoyed that, and I used to dance a lot. I was into sports. So my schooling, my education was a very important part of making me what I am, of grooming me, of teaching me how to talk, how to present myself, and of understanding what beauty is. See, yes, I have done my education, my grads in fashion from School of Fashion Technology, Pune. Um, uh, if I want to talk about fashion first, then, as per Oxford Dictionary, fashion, the word, it means manner. So fashion basically is how you do things, different mannerisms of doing a particular thing. And it could be clothing, it could be accessories, it could be a way of talking, it could be how you present yourself, it could be your makeup, it could be how you walk, your gait, your poise. All that sort is a fashion. They're all manner in which you present yourself, or you perceive somebody else, or you create an image. So that's fashion, and clothing is what you wear. So my business is somewhere connecting clothing and fashion. And yes, I can say I am an opinionated person, and I have very strong opinions, and I work towards building them. So to start with, after studying fashion, I was looking for different opportunities in different fields of fashion or which are related to fashion. And there were many women who inspired my early life. Say right from schooling, I was so interested in dancing. Madhuri Dixit was always, an idol for me. And I have, like millions of other females, like millions of other women, we've been copying her steps, copying her way of talking and dressing up and a lot of things. Then there were women like Sushmita Sen, whom I adore the way she sits and stands and walks and everything. So, these are the famous women. Then in our very own households, we have women like, of course, your mom is always there. You know, you keep fighting with her 50% of your life, but then she is the woman you become later in your life. So, most important. Then you have your sister, the first friend, rather the first enemy you have. So from there, you actually start learning of how to tackle your worst enemies and how to make best of friends, sharing, compassion. I mean, I have had very good experiences where we were three women in the house with one man, very supportive man, my dad and my mother, and we were the two daughters. So other household people who inside me. So there are a lot of cousins, your chachis, your masis. They all have a very typical tiny, tiny role in your life, and you pick up something from everyone. Like when I laugh like one of my masis, and I look like a particular cousin, and I so there's this connection of so many women in creating another woman, and there is a huge contribution in the accumulation of all these nitty gritties, all these little tiny things to make somebody sit where she is. So they are all basically a jewels of your crown when you're sitting somewhere. So that is what developed me. And I like being what I am, and I really thank all these people around me for making me what I am. Coming to business, yes, I chose fashion as my business, beauty as my business. I was always inclined towards doing something where I am noticed, where my work is noticed, and I like being on stage, on front, and I liked being appreciated for good work. And yes, I've had my phases of, failures, and I think they are very important. Like you can't be good at everything, but you shouldn't stop trying. So just keep knocking, like I've been always saying, just keep knocking all the doors, and you never know which door you walk into and where the door leads you. So fashion designing, it led me to my first project, which was during the college, which was Malika Sherawat's costume designing. It was a very sidey looking location, and we got a call that they're looking for interns and young designers to do the look. But once the meeting went off, and it was such a good experience. After that meeting, the internship and the trials, they converted into a full-fledged costume designer for a movie. And for a 19-year-old girl to do that kind of a job, yes, it was a low budget movie, so you were never thinking of earning out of it. You were trying to get into the industry. So meeting Malika Sherawat, she was not very famous that time, but then the movie Khwahish, that made her quite famous. She had a very hot personality. She was always very hot and sexy and, out there. So the instruction was, do what best you can do to make this movie, make the star reach out to people. So there is no particular mass or class or anywhere. It had to have a good reach. So what we did was, like students, we started sketching, designing, and all. The process started like that. Then we came to a thought that beauty. Okay, now beauty is my business. So in a movie also, where you are portraying a character, you need to create an image of a person. So for Malika Sherawat per se, you have to reflect her personality, her way of talking, her character through the outfit. Any person sitting there, in front of the screen looking at her should know the character. It is not Malika Sherawat, it is what the character name is, the character style is, and the character vibe is, whether she's a heroine, whether she's a vamp, whether she's a supporting actress, whether she's a comedian. It has to portray that. So then worked on that. I gained a lot of experience, and we came to know that we were doing a lot of wrong things, because everything you do at college is not supposed to be done at work. There's a lot of difference. Doesn't mean that colleges are not important. Yes, that is what is your fundamental, that is what is your ABC, your backbone. So that is what takes you up to that level. Had it not been my college, I would have never got through that interview or that opportunity. Then later, after this project of Khwahish being Malika Shirawat, I met a lot of people with the unit, a lot of hardworking, struggling women out there. And there, even that time, 20 years back, there were a lot of women in the unit. There were camera assistants, there were costume assistants, there were, of course, the makeup, and even the caterers. There were a lot of women who used to do dabbas for the top artists. So everywhere a woman had an important role. I picked up a lot of from there. Then came fashion weeks. Right through my last semester, Lakme Fashion Week started happening in Bombay, and the first show I assisted was Reena Taka, and after that there were consecutive fashion weeks and consecutive shows which you assist. And then again, it was a new land. You reach there, you're a gold medalist in the college, you've done well in school, you've already done a movie, you're through. But when you land up with all that attitude in a fashion week, oh, you're a novice, you don't even know how to dress up, you don't even know whom to talk and how to talk, and you don't even know words like there is a backstage pattern, there is a choreographer, what does a choreographer do. It's so different in a practical life. And then you learn a lesson that don't take it here, you cannot take it to your head. The best policy is stay humble, stay modest, and always believe that there is still more to learn. And there are people, all sorts of people, that teach you a lot. Even like my master ji today, even my embroiders today, something they will come up after years of being with me also. They will come up with such small little detail which teaches me that if I do this, I will be more efficient, I'll be faster, I'll be making the outfits prettier. So, you are still learning. So once I reached Fashion Week, I was third back on the ground that doing a movie doesn't mean you've made it. You were still nowhere. So after a lot of fashion weeks, a lot of shows, missing a lot of meals, missing a lot of buses, a lot of parties. So, and in fact, a lot of college assignments and all, because it was that time, it was quite difficult to travel from Pune to Bombay doing each fashion week every day. So I used to leave. I had, yes, another very important woman, Mrs. Manju Hundekar from my college. She is still the principal. And she's one special person who always allowed me. She didn't find my decisions odd. Like 90% of people used to feel, सुबह 6 बजे she'll leave for she'll take a Volvo and go to Bombay, and 12 बजे she'll attend the show, 4 बजे she'll catch a bus, come back at 6, and then she will do the projects in college. So she was one woman who was never surprised by what I decide, and she gave me a go ahead. You do it. If you can manage it, do it. But you're not getting any free marks here, or you're not getting any free lunches there. So I think that was struggle, but that was my biggest learning. I mean, today, if I go back, I don't know where I got all that energy from. I think it was from all these important women around me who pushed me. Yes, my principal did a big role, but then I had roommates. I had, luckily, very good roommates who were so supportive. My room was always in a mess in the hostel. And I mean, you are not good at everything. So I am particularly not very good at housekeeping and all that. I can barely strike a balance between keeping the work up and keeping the house up. But yes, I try my best to do, and there is a lot of support system behind that. So even that time, there was the principal of the college, there were the matrons who allowed my late entries, and yes, I got a lot of warning letters. They've been sent to my parents. But this happened, and all that, so it was a lot of fight. I still can't imagine having that kind of energy in that stage of life. Maybe it was I was not even 20. Yeah, maybe early 20s, you're not even 20. So that's what I call experience. And then happened my college fashion show, the graduating show, where it was all happening. And I was like still nervous. Doesn't mean if you've done 2 3 fashion weeks, doesn't mean your show is going to rock, and doesn't mean you're going to get the award, or you should be up there. uh, but keeping that low profile, entered the ramp with the group, a very supporting, close knit gang of 9 girls. We used to call each other the No Durgas. And again, all my hostel mates from different parts of the country, and very close knit girls. Most of us are still in touch. We could hardly meet after college, but very, very strong bonding still. So they supported, we all supported each other. They're all very well placed in the industry, in different sections of the industry. Um then the show happened, and yes, our team won an award, which was the most commercially viable designer award. And I think it's a very important award to win, though I was not expecting, we were not expecting. And this was all, happening during switching between Pune and Bombay, and Pune and Bombay, and a lot of other things. Uh, by side, you're looking for a job as well. After that happened, right after my show, my phone rings, and it flashes Reena Dhaka. I think that was the crazy happy day. I was jumping right outside my hostel. I was literally jumping, as in what has happened, because I mean, she's my first guru, and she's taught me a lot. And I mean, I owe her a lot. I'll always be a student to her, always. So it was her, and she said she wanted me to join her, and the happiest day for me. Though in my mind, I always had created an idea, an opinion about North India, and I had always thought that I'll never go to North India, never even go to North India. And you know how it was 20 years back. It was so unsafe, and it was so uh, you know what I'm trying to say. So no North India for me, and I had become a Bombay, a Maharashtra girl. I had already learnt talking in Marathi, and I had an affection towards Marathi food, language, places, everything, culture. So I always wanted to be in Bombay, Pune. But this happened, and I had to come to Delhi. So never say never. Hello, you were in Delhi, and in fact, you were not in the Delhi. You were at Gurgaon, the Udyog Vihar, the industrial area, which was a gaon that time. And you're working in one of these big factories. You start working, and the first day of work, again, you realize none of your awards, none of your achievements, they matter, because in that profile of clientele, you are nowhere, and you don't even know the names of the fabrics which people actually work on. You don't even know the embroidery techniques, and you have no clue of expenses that running a factory is involved into. And all that commercially viable designer award, it just pops, the bubble is popped, and you're actually nowhere. So my first week at work was just ironing clothes. After all that, I was ironing clothes, and again, I was put on the ground. I was grounded from cloud 9 to some underground wherever. But all that was so important. I really feel that's so important, and given a chance, I would really want my kids to go through all that, because that makes you realize that. You have to build yourself every time. You don't remain. You cannot be remaining. I mean, there are a very few people who just remain, and it's because of their deeds. And you have to do bigger deeds than doing just your work to remain. So then this job happened. I learned a lot from this woman, my guru, Reena Dhaka. I learned how to manage staff, how to manage labor, you know how to save money in making a design, how to sell money, how to sell designs, making money to run your own business, how to manage a store, how to attend clients, how to say yes to clients, how to say no, whom to work with, whom not to work with, and all that with self care. She has self care. She is also a mother of two, a very inspiring woman. I mean, I don't know. She still manages so much. She manages, I think, much more than what she used to manage at that point. And if we stand together today, I think she looks younger to me. She's that kind of a woman. And she hops cities, she hops places, and she hops roles like, you know, she's a true star. She doesn't need this introduction, she's a true star. So that's where I learned a lot. And then after a year, when I left Delhi for Bombay, my love, which was, which is still. So I came to Bombay. Then the hurdle, like, you know, in a girl's life, what are the hurdles of moving, switching places was first your parents, that stage. Thankfully, I have always had that support. Then comes, you know, again, the little supports of a woman. I would really like to mention my dad's friends also, who have been my local guardians. You know, all the uncles and aunties who had been local guardians in Pune and Bombay, so that when I just decide to leave Delhi and come to Bombay without a job, without a house, I have a place to move in. So I stayed there, then started looking for a job. Um, Went to Shopper Stop for this interview. I really liked the office, the culture, the people, and joined Shopper Stop. Uh, in Shopper Stop, the first day induction again, a very important woman whom I am in touch with is Ranjana. Ranjana was my first mentor. Uh, she started training me, she started grooming me for the corporate world. So, again, after all this procedure of maybe now 4 years into fashion is my business and beauty is my business. Now I am a novice again because you don't know what's corporate sector. You are nowhere. You don't even dress like that. So the first day I'm told is that I cannot be dressing like that, like how I used to be dressed in my fashion factory. So it was corporate dressing first. Then it was corporate talking. Then it was more than design. It was talking numbers. So another learning. At this very point, I met a very, very, very important woman of my life, Darshana Shah. She is my soul sister. Uh, Very, very important to take her views on whatever I've been doing. We don't talk daily. We might be talking, I think, once in a year. We met once in a decade, but we know we are important to each other. So it's that kind of a support a woman gives and expects from another woman. So she is another crown in, you know, another jewel in my crown. And she taught me a lot of things, poise, gait, how to, you know, there were times where she used to shout at somebody, but she's not shouting. She was so, you know, you say she was so smooth. So this is what I got from her. And the importance of self-love, care, that I am the most important person in my life. So the importance of I am is what she taught me. And I'll be always connected to her and thankful to her for everything she's done. So at Shopper Stop, again, I made a lot of friends. And yes, there were a lot of supporting men who were with me in my journey. Once I was out of Shopper Stop, I finally got into business. I made some samples, started designing. I started supplying to Shopper Stop and some more stores like Bombay Store and, you know, Globus and all. And there were a lot of friends within the industry, the merchandise, the corporate industry, and the design industry who helped putting me my designs here and there, and who helped getting clientele. And there were a bunch of very, very good and supporting men during this time. Uh, So the struggle now was having your own space. The struggle now was in your early 20s, you are not taken very seriously as an entrepreneur. So almost every place I went with my samples, with my designs, uh, people were liking the designs, like the work, and more than that, they were surprised and they were not confident in me that, what, a 22, 23-year old girl starting her own line. This is way back, 2003 or 4. Starting her line and getting a registration done, a brand registration and taxation and all that, sitting in a factory, 225 square feet factory, which was again from a known uncle, renting that place and designing the logos and launching the brand in whatever way, small way I could do. But thankfully, yes, I got a good response. Did it for a long time in Bombay, and through this, got through Balaji Telefilms, their award functions, and designing for a lot of their TV serials when Tulsi Parvati and all happened. So all those, wherever I could assist, wherever I could supply, I got into a lot of things. I was taking everything which came on my platter. I was welcoming everything, and I had the time, energy, and the right people and the opportunities. So all the doors that I had knocked were, opening, shutting, opening, shutting. So I had to quickly move in, move out, and do my bit wherever I could. And the brand was there. I was existing, and now how Bombay is when you're doing something. Um, it shows. So Bombay Times covered me, half-page interview. A girl from nowhere is out there, and then you got clientele. Then you started designing for award functions and all. So well settled. I have uh, got a lot to thank to Bombay and the people I was involved with and learned with. Thereafter, I got married to my best friend, and again, a very, very supporting person in my life who could promise that I will not have to leave anything while leaving Bombay. So I hardly left anything behind. I still visit Bombay, I still work from Bombay with Bombay, and I am well placed here in Lucknow, very comfortably within the boundaries of my house. I have my own setup, I have my own workshop, I have a family who takes care of, me being not able to balance it when it comes to the homemaking and the kitchen and the work all together. So, like if I have 10 tasks a day, if there's, even if I manage 8 a day, I am happy. I'm happy. I don't say I'm a perfect home manager or a homemaker or even a store or a brand manager, whatever, a designer. So, it takes a lot of people around me even right now. So moving to Lucknow, the same brand was taken forward here. The supply was on to the same buyers, the same merchandisers. The friends were always in touch. We meet less, but we meet, and we're always connected. And so all those women from there and that important bunch of men, and then you have a new family in Lucknow. You make new friends, and touch wood, I again got. If I can again call the college no Durgas, I found them here also. So I have a very strong set of educated, like-minded, smart women who also have been switching roles, from being a wife, mother, entrepreneurs, artists, teachers, principals, and everything, and even party animals. So all my friends are party-loving people and great women in whatever they do in life. So I really appreciate them, and I still learn from them. We learn from each other. I'm being the, most weirder amongst them. They are all more settled and sober and patient people in life. So, and then most important woman who takes care of everything here is my mother-in-law. I don't have to come back on time, or I don't have to look at little things which. So it's like somebody is taking care of the back end always. which is not really the back end. It is the front end. It is they are the frontliners here when it comes to homemaking, because children are at home all day since last one year. They've been at home all day, so everyone's switching roles. We've become friends, we become their teachers, we become their sports mates and fitness coaches and their playmates and movie mates, everything that we do together. So this is how I've been trying to thank all these important women in my life, like my friend circle here right now. There's somebody who's taking care of what is going to happen here. If I'm not here, somebody is taking care of my kids. Somebody is taking care of their birthday parties, and somebody is taking care of the cakes that are going to happen. So thankfully I am with a lot of sisters, with my own little sister and my bunch of new sisters here who are my BFFs. They are so important. I can't function without any of them. So I need them to get all this energy, all the vibe that I create and I reflect. I need them all. And coming to the business, the beauty is my business. I still say, amongst all this, the beauty is how you reflect yourself, what you have learned from the people who have come into your life, what you have learned from the failures that you faced in your life. And it's about how you meet the new people, how you welcome the new people who are going to enter your life. And it's also about weeding out the people who don't belong to you, or where you don't belong. You don't have to, you don't have to be everywhere. You don't belong everywhere. So I believe in choosing my people, and I believe that women should know that they are the most important for their happiness. If a woman is not happy, I totally can say the house, the home cannot be happy. If you don't see a smiling woman, she cannot transfer the smile to the other members of the family, to the kids, the pets, wherever. If there is a lot of stress and negativity, and if you don't feel you are the most important, then you can't give that importance to anyone else. So self care, yes, is the most important beauty feature that you have. Happy girls are prettiest. And pretty, beauty, fashion, they are all synonyms. Once you're happy, it's a happy women's day every day.
Thank you, Aditi. Thank you so much. You know what I liked about the entire thing was that you had, I mean, a lot of struggle. It's not easy. I have been there. I have seen everything in Mumbai, how it happens. You know, so and but you said it in such a smooth manner as if it was a cakewalk for you. I know how the struggles are basically. So, coming to that part, being a very young girl, when you started off, straight from college, how did you manage that success? Did it go to your head? How did you balance that? What happens? We, not just women, anybody. If you get success,
Anybody.
you don't have to do too much, and suddenly you get it. So
Yeah.
sometimes it goes to the head. So, what is the
Yeah.
best way did you manage it?
The best way I managed it was I was made to manage it, because when it went here, the next project I took, it dropped me to the floor again, and I was grounded. That hello, relax. You don't know anything about this. You are nowhere. So start from the scratch again.
Right. But then, at this very young age, in a city like Mumbai, we understand. So, when you are working in this line, I'm not saying that all the lines, this line is a very bad one or you can't choose. But as it is said, every work field has its own pros and cons. So, this industry also where you have been working, um, certain things which, like, I wouldn't like to say it very formally, but there are certain things which are not found in many other industries. So people, especially parents, are very secure in that way. Okay, if they are getting into business management, or they are going here, or they are joining, if they are even a fashion designers, they are straight away starting their own line in their own city. Oh, you are getting into something like Bollywood. Oh, certain things happen.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
how do you keep yourself intact? What would you advise young girls who are aspiring to be there? Especially this glamour industry, whether they want to be designers or models themselves or anything.
yeah,
What is it that they should be grounded in, so that they are not misled, or they have that sense of judgment of
yeah.
still to work and still remain intact with what they are, who they are?
Firstly, I'd like to just say the very old saying that we are taught in the childhood: "All that glitters is not gold."
Yes.
So yeah, so the industry that you look at looks very glamorous from the outside, but the back end is really dirty. I mean, you have to have your hands in deep mud to show the glamour which is outside on the stage. So you often see designers walking on the ramp in a jeans and a t-shirt, while the models are
Yes,
extravagantly
yes,
dressed.
yes.
So that's how we
I
are.
always wondered, like, why? I mean, why are they just wearing jeans and a black
Yeah,
T-shirt?
yeah.
Black is the favorite color because you have nothing else to wear a black.
Yeah, because you don't have time to think what you're going to wear, and even if you have time, you've forgotten it in the car or somewhere else that the show is going to happen. So to the girls who are aspiring to get into the fashion or the Bollywood or the modeling industry, first of all, I'd like to say the very, very important part is education. You should complete your education, because not only it gives you the bookish knowledge, it's not about reading, it's about, even if you're moving from class 8 to 10th, the kind of experiences that you go through from 10th to 12th, and in the college life, the life experiences that you get while educating yourself are so important in building your personality. I think
Yes,
that's very, very important. So, no wonder Shah Rukh Khan today says that my kids will definitely complete education and only after that they can enter Bollywood. So there has to be, yeah. So it doesn't need only money. So you are not working only for money, or you belong to a very rich family and that helps. I think education really helps. There are two very different ways of judging a person. An educated man and an uneducated man have a very, very different way of thinking, and then they will bring up their daughters in a very different way. So, what helped me was my dad always. Throughout my childhood, my dad was always there like a pillar. And whatever I had done, I mean, he was my best friend, and he made us so vocal about things that anything happened, whether I'm going out with friends to a club, whether it was my first drink, it was with my dad. So we were brought up in that culture because he is a very highly educated man, and he believes that every girl should be educated. So don't skip the education part. You can be as glamorous as you want all your life.
yes, 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 yes. So, Aditi, one thing that I liked about was you mentioned that how important it is to be, I am. And the other thing was being a superwoman. This tag, that we have. Oh, she's a superwoman. Why? Because she can handle a family. She's a good cook. My mother. The very childhood, what we are learning is, oh, my mother is the best cook in the world. But these days, I mean, it's not bad to say that I can't cook or I cannot make the best dishes in the world, right? So, this thing that you have said in a very subtle and a very nice manner, that accepting the fact that that superwoman tag, which every woman is fighting for. I want that tag. I want that tag from my child. I want that tag from
Yeah.
my husband. Oh, she's a superwoman. She
I
handles
can't do
four.
everything. I
Yeah,
am happily accepting I can't do
do you
everything.
like
I'm
to
not
tell
good at
women? Do
everything.
you like to tell women that it's actually being normal? That even
Yeah.
if you are not handling everything, it's not a
Yes.
flaw in
Yes.
you. It's not a flaw
Plus,
if you cannot handle.
plus, Shilpi, it is so important. I feel like I have two sons. I'm a mother of two sons who will
Yes,
finally get married, or maybe they will have female partners in life. So they have that mentality right now. My son doesn't judge me for not cooking. And my son really likes when his dad cooks, because the dad likes cooking sometimes and he is a good cook, so he cooks. So there is no pressure on me. He knows that my mom, if I want something, she'll Swiggy it for me. So he is not demanding that, and he has that in mind that my wife doesn't have to cook all three meals for me. I can do things for him, but I don't have to do things for him.
Yes,
So
yes,
that is, I
that's
think that's the
important.
teaching the family is giving to my son also by helping me there.
Right. So I believe that thank you so much for taking out time out of your busy schedule and being here. And what is the takeaway that I believe from this entire conversation is that you don't have to, run for that tagline of being a superwoman. You
Every
can
woman
be.
is a superwoman.
Yes, the moment you realize that I am important for myself,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is the very time you are a superwoman.
The day I
Because
say it's a good day, it has to be a good
because
day.
the
That's
main
what I.
purpose of any person in a life, whosoever life you are, is to give happiness. You know,
Yes, yes,
so if
yes.
you are mentally happy, if you are in
If
your
I'm
happy
not happy,
state,
I can. How will I give something to anyone if my bowl is
yes,
empty? I need to fill my bowl first and then transfer it.
so you don't have to struggle within yourself for every perfection.
No.
You have to be yourself. You're a woman, so you are perfect in yourself because God has
You
created you
are.
that.
Perfection is boring. You're not a statue. You're not a wax art.
Exactly, exactly. So thank you, Aditi, for being here, and I'm wishing my viewers a very happy Women's Day once again. And
Thank you,
Aditi, would
Shilpi.
like to
Thank you for
connect with you
inviting.
in future again, and let's discuss more about this. Okay, thank
Thank you.
you. And my viewers, stay tuned in because again we have another woman achiever coming at 5 o'clock from Sweden. None other than you have Josephine Wickstrom. Thank you.